Alright, so it's another unboxing video. But first, I'm just showered about an hour ago. It's on the phone for a while. And then I was fixing up this vintage shirt, putting the bone buttons on it. Yeah, doing some sewing. However, I had to order some bone buttons and stuff. And yeah, there's your normal, let's say, the big whole 2-button underwear garment ones. There's all sorts of different shapes and sizes. It's a very miscellaneous one. Excitingly enough, however, the lot also came with I tested it, is genuine bone collar stud. Fascinating. I didn't know they made them out of bone. I'd actually like to have more, but I didn't see any when I was doing some more shopping for such. The little sundries like that. While this disc does also seem to be bone, I don't know what its purpose is. Why does it exist? Is it a game piece? Why is it in with the buttons? And then this is not bone. This is plastic. It's just meant to look like bone. But what's the purpose of this hoop? I don't know. That was from my previous package before today. I didn't do an unboxing video. I mean, it's just buttons. I just put them onto all of my reenacting clothes. So, however, today, speaking of studs and stuff, not me, of course, I do have this package. This one here should be collar studs. And also, just in general, they're going to be for shirt studs as well, to actually, interestingly enough, you'll see these exact same buttons on tux shirts and stuff. So technically, these collar studs in this package should fit this shirt. Not just the collars, but this shirt and any tux shirt in general. At least that's what I'm assuming is in this package. Of course, my little sewing scissors are probably not the most adequate way to open this. Just I reuse these packages, so I don't want to just tear them open, because I do shipping all the time. Okay, so overly packed in my opinion for what it is. I appreciate that. It's just not necessary. I also appreciate the fragile sticker, the single fragile sticker. Oh, what else do we have in here? We have... I'm not quite sure. This is not what I was expecting. You can pause the video and look at it. I see our packing slip. But the exciting thing... There's a note on here. Sold Dutch. Dutch auction, maybe. I will say they pack them very well. However, I don't like having tape on antique paper because these are new old stock. Thankfully, this is a really crappy masking tape, so it's going to come right off. I guess these scissors are going to come in handy real quick. You know, they still make these. They've never stopped making these cute little heron sewing scissors. And there's my fear. This is why you never put any sort of tape, no matter how weak, unless it's literally archival tape, on antique paper. Now technically, a trick is to pull. I have to pull the tape, but I'm going to handle that later. So instead of doing that, you literally pull, and that's supposed to do less damage. Did not succeed in this case. However, these Mother of pearl would have been very common back in the day for any sort of, men's accessories. If I can get these out without causing damage to the packaging, that would be lovely. Actually, the packaging is water damaged. They had multiples of these, so it's kind of a miscellaneous free-for-all, really. I was hoping to see some sort of information on them. If I can get my camera to focus on this. I don't know. I picked it specifically because it reminds me of Moonstone, which is one of my favorite stones. The way it just catches the light, but this is definitely supposed to be probably faux mother of pearl. Actually. I was expecting some sort of early resinous plastic. It's actually glass. It is some sort of semi-iridescent glass. Yeah, I tested on my teeth. So anyway, technically this should fit, and I've never actually done this before. They should go around these buttons. If I can lift it just enough. And this vintage night shirt, which I think is from the 50s. It actually could be older. I'm just going on how lightweight the material is. Yeah, see? You could have that on a tux. You could do it in some other accessories other than tuxes, tux shirts and collars. Speaking of collars, here's another tip for shipping. You see this giant envelope? The product, I'll show my address. You could have just taped the envelope like that and then measure that. Obviously you want it to be square, not this shape, but you can do it square. Then just measure that instead of measuring it. Sorry. Sorry. Instead of measuring it this way. And you would have saved yourself a lot of money because you're getting charged per inch. So if you could only have it from there to there, you're not paying for all of that. And of course, I want to reuse this envelope. Actually, they have reused this envelope before. So I'm not the first to reuse it, because this is tape, and the old seal has been ripped. So I do approve of that, because I'm always big on, reduce, reuse, recycle. These dinky little scissors. Because I am a proponent of reusing whatever I can. I do not like waste. Oh, I packed these very nice as well inside of here. They wrapped them up so they wouldn't shift around. Don't know what Carlisle is. Packing slip. My button's still staying. It certainly catches the light, doesn't it? Okay. And yes, I do reuse wrapping paper from Christmas. However, I don't rewrap gifts in it. What I do is I hold on to it for any sort of thing I'm shipping out, because I sell a lot online. Anything I'm shipping out that could relate to Christmas or whatever holiday the paper is fitting of. Or if I'm just stuffing a box of a gift to a long distance friend, the packing materials and the objects I'm sending him or her, I can just use that happy paper. I guess I'm a sort of Bob Ross of shipping. But yes, collars. Don't remember what all of these shapes are called. My 1921 Sears catalog will tell me, as well as my 1899 whatever company that was in Chicago, that fashion catalog, or my 1916 men's suit, whatever you call it. It was for a tailor specifically. A man would go through and pick what he wants. But I think this is called a club collar. Very common rounded over look. So this one is Arrow, Cluett, Peabody and Company. So Arrow must be the line, Cluett, Peabody and Company must be the, obviously, the company. Then again, it also says Humbert. Anyway, does it fit? It looks kind of effeminate like this, but I know I've seen men in these same collars from ages past. Here we have the batwing style, or wingtip, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, there's that information there. I like this style best. Actually, I want it to be a bit bigger of wings. Same company, Aratex, though, must be the line. Patented July. Something in the 10s, I think. 1921. No, actually, that might be a really badly deformed 6. So approximately July 6th, 1921 is the patent date. Now, the patent does not mean that's when it was made, obviously. A lot of people don't get that. They say, oh, my collar is from July of 1926, or whatever object they have. Actually, I can show you right quick before we continue on. When I do dress modern, I still have certain tastes, and I really like black jeans. However, one interesting thing about this pair is that not only does it give us the original Levi's patent for 1873 there, but every single button has the 1873 patent. Or should I say, the fastener. So yeah, all of these weird snap fasteners all say the 1873 patent. And that is the most long-term of all the examples of putting the patent on well past the expiration. Now, Levi didn't do that contiguously throughout history. However, Kodak, for example, would put the patent on the cameras for 50 years after it expired. Another one, my alarm clock, which it does work. I had it restored. I only use it when I actually need an alarm clock because I work from home, my own schedule. But anyway, you know, very generic antique alarm clock. They look like this in the 1890s till, in some cases, they still make them like this. But if we look at the patents, the newest patent I'm seeing is 1908. I don't know if you'll be able to even read that. It came out clear. And I highly doubt, yeah. Anyway, it's down there. A little circle. We have patents from 1901 to 1908. But this model, this particular Westclox America model, because that was their most long run line, this particular one was only made from 1928 to 29, I believe. It was a 2-year only version of the America. Now, the America was made from like the 1890s to the 1950s or whatever. So, non-stop production. They just kept changing the look of the model. So, yeah. Excellent example of putting old patents on something that's much newer. So don't trust a patent just because it says, like in this one, patent August 19th of 1913, the scarf protector. It doesn't mean this is from 1913. This could be from the 1930s. Oh, there's more words down there. 1915. Oh, fascinating piece. I see there's words on the other side too. Man, they just have words all over the place. No, it says pre-shrunk, so don't have to worry about it being too small. We'll see if a 15 is a good enough size for me, however. A little bit tight. I'm definitely going to have to try to move the buttonholes over. Mostly wanted this because I saw 16s in here, and 16s will fit me. So, for example, my favorite one. That's going to be the one I probably wear the most. And we have 2 club collars. I could probably also just add material instead of trying to move the buttonholes. It might actually be easier. Okay, so these 2 are the same brand. Do we have the same patents, however? No, this one's actually lacking it underneath the flap, this other one. But anyway, these studs, you can use these in your shirt, or you can use these to fasten your collar in your shirt. So when you have your collar folded, don't know which way these ones are supposed to go yet. You put your collar on, and you want to go to fasten it, and I could do it on my neck. This one's actually supposed to fold this way. Yeah, I'm going to go with this way. I can still feel the starch being, well, starchy. And you go to put your buttons in. I should probably put the button first. So the button just pops through one side. And you go put your collar on, and then you can just pop it through on the other one. I'm sure this took forever back then. I could even feel the buttonhole. This one finger is, it's not feeling too good today. There we go. Obviously there'd be more buttons than just this. However, I now have a collar, and I feel like more of a preacher than I was already supposed to be, because that's what I went to school for. But yeah, I can just fill my shirt with all these nifty studs. And I can be everything that the Edwardian man was supposed to be. It'll go a lot faster once I actually start doing this more regularly. This is just a big piece of history bounding that's kind of overlooked. The details are always overlooked. I have always wanted to be a detail-oriented person. I'm also apparently under attack by several ladybugs. We have a ladybug apocalypse. Apocalypse, sorry. I wonder if it's easier to do it this way. Take the button out. And then try putting the button through. Well, by Jove, it might just actually work out that way. So push the stud down with your finger so it's down there, the hole's up here. No, maybe it won't work out that way. I don't know, it's going to take some practice. I'm sure there is no particularly one right way to do it, so it's going to be however big the buttonhole is in relation to the stud and button, and whatever feels comfortable. And it might help if I could actually feel my thumb, because that was injured rather recently. I do a lot of mechanic work. I'm also restoring an 1856 house. I can literally see the button sticking through. I could use my pointer finger, that would really help, but that really hurts. There we go. 3/4 of the button was sticking through the whole time. You move the stud up and it should cover the buttons, if done correctly. I guess I'm not doing it correctly though. But hey, it really stands out in relation to the buttons. The buttons are obviously meant to blend in with the shirt, the original buttons. And this is just a night shirt. We don't really care to see that. And if we have a few more of those buttons going all the way down, it would actually be a very decent look. So I'm very happy with what I got to work with. And, well, that's my unboxing video. Now, I should say, they have all sorts of ways to store collars, usually round, because they're going to be starched stiff. They're not supposed to be all floppy like this. They're supposed to be very stiff, so I have to starch these. I actually, of course, have some antique starch I can use. And then they even make, well, I shouldn't say they made stud boxes, because a man might have many different studs. After all, I showed you the bone one. That would be your work stud. This is going to be more of a dress stud. A lot of these were often actually gold or silver. Unfortunately, I'm mildly allergic to silver. Cute little full moon. And a lot of the boxes that I've seen for the studs were actually shaped like a rounded collar. There we go. Yeah, I was amused by some of the ones I was seeing. They were quite adorable, really. But everything back then was just an era of opulence. I love the Victorian. I love the Edwardian. Heck, I even love the 20s. And so a lot of this stuff's going to be probably 20s or newer. It fits for my needs. I can't wait to actually put some holes in some of the collars of my shirts after cutting and stitching them, so I can actually wear these antique collars and just have the correct look. I mean, how neat would that be, having a pattern shirt and then suddenly this just stark white collar? That's just going to be the bee's knees. Well, those are collar studs and buttonhole studs. And then, of course, the bone stud is in here somewhere. There it is. I'm curious how this fits in relation, in opposite relation to the apparently larger decorative ones. I do want to find more of these bone ones. They almost look like miniature chess pieces out of a portable chess set. Guess it's just a ladybug apocalypse. Worst I've ever seen them. I wish this camera would focus, but unfortunately it is the forward-facing camera, so everything's going to be in reverse anyway, and of course my screen's cracked because it's always falling. But until next time, we'll actually have an exciting unboxing video coming, at least exciting to me, in that it is in regards to men's winter fashion, because I am actually able to find an antique, two of them, man's winter hat. Now, they were being sold as like Cossack and Russian and whatever, because yeah, it has that modern stereotypical look, what we think of as a Russian winter hat. However, Before this modern stereotype, it was just in general a man's winter hat. There was nothing strange about it. There was nothing Russian about it. Now, to make a dad joke pun, there was a wonderful old Coke ad that said, when you're rushing for a Coke, there's no time for Stalin. I love that one. Anyway, Bill, if you're watching, you can cringe now. Heavily so. And probably swear about it, but I know that those puns are rubbing off on you. So until next time, everybody, have a great day.